Welcome to my channel. My name is Ethan Vale, 24 years old, an introverted graphic designer with a quiet reputation and an even quieter secret. People at work think I'm the dependable guy who stays late, the one who brings coffee for the team without being asked, the one who avoids conflict like it's toxic. They have no idea who I really am when the apartment door closes behind me. They don't know about the hidden box under my bed, wrapped in old hoodies and guarded like a treasure chest. They don't know about the lipstick. I didn't plan for crossdressing to become part of my life. It wasn't rebellion or fantasy at first, just curiosity. A single moment months ago when I saw Isabella's tube of red lipstick on the bathroom counter. I had picked it up, turned it, stared at the shade, Scarlet Command, and wondered what it would feel like on my lips. That one impulsive swipe had felt like opening a forbidden door. And once opened, it never closed again. Tonight started like many nights when Isabella worked the late shift at the cafe. She had texted me about an hour ago, "We're closing late. Slow night. Don't wait up." A harmless message. Sweet, even. Isabella was everything I thought I didn't deserve. Warm, funny, affectionate, a bit chaotic in the way that makes life more colorful. She loved me. And I loved her. That was the problem. I loved her so much that the idea of her discovering my secret felt like a knife pressed against my throat. Because Isabella didn't know. About the dresses. About the makeup. About the lipstick. Especially not about the lipstick. Our apartment was small, dimly lit with amber lamps that made everything look softer than it was. A cozy, warm place filled with her plants, her scents, her bright energy. But whenever she left, the entire mood shifted. It became a stage. My stage. A private world where I could breathe inside a version of myself no one else had met. My heartbeat quickened as I knelt beside the bed and slid out the worn shoebox wrapped in an old university sweatshirt. My hands shook with the kind of excitement that always bordered on panic. I removed the lid. Inside lay the life I wasn't supposed to have. A pastel pink blouse with pearl buttons. A sleek black skirt I had bought online under a fake name. Wig caps. A pair of beige stockings folded neatly beside a wavy brunette wig. My heart warmed and tightened at the same time, like longing and guilt were wrestling inside my chest. Then there was the lipstick. Scarlet Command. The shade that had started everything. I picked it up gingerly. The tube shimmered under the lamp like something alive. Just holding it made something shift inside me, like a soft, electric hum running beneath my skin. "I shouldn't," I whispered. But I already knew I would. I stood in front of the mirror, the full-length one Isabella used to model outfits before her shifts. I wondered what she would say if she knew I used it too, just for very different reasons. I swallowed hard and began. The blouse came first. The fabric whispered as I slid it over my arms, the smoothness hugging my skin in a way that made my breath catch. Then the skirt, tight at the hips, loose past my thighs, transforming the shape of my body into something softer. More delicate. More me. My chest tightened again. Not with fear. With relief. Like the world aligned for a few precious moments. I sat on the edge of the bed, my fingers trembling as I rolled the stockings up my legs. They glided on with a soft hiss, making me shiver. I always shivered at this part. I knew I didn't look perfect. I didn't need to. This wasn't performance. It was confession. I placed the wig carefully over my head, adjusting the strands until the reflection softened into someone I almost recognized. Someone I admired. Someone I feared I might become. Then my eyes lowered to the lipstick. The real beginning. The real danger. The thing that felt like possession, desire, and truth all wrapped into a single crimson line. I uncapped it slowly. The scent of vanilla and something sharper, something intoxicating, rose from the tube. My hand shook as I lifted it to my lips. A single stroke and my heart began racing. A second stroke and a warmth bloomed in my cheeks. A third and I felt transformed, controlled, consumed. Like the lipstick wasn't just color, it was power. A command. A pull. Like it whispered, "You're not Ethan right now. You're the person you've always tried to hide." I didn't fully understand it, only that every time I wore it, I felt less like I was pretending and more like I was revealing. And every time, it became harder to stop. I leaned closer to the mirror, admiring the shape of my lips. A stranger. A version of me that scared me because of how real it felt. But the fantasy was fragile. A sudden buzz shattered the moment. My phone flashed. Isabella, heading home soon. Be there in 10. My blood froze. 10 minutes. 10 minutes to erase the entire transformation. 10 minutes to kill the version of myself that felt more alive by the second. Fear shot through me, sharp and cold, but something else stirred beneath it. Not dread. Not shame. Excitement. Because deep down, a dangerous thought whispered. What if you didn't change back in time? What if she saw? What if she knew? I staggered back from the mirror, heart pounding, legs trembling in stockings. The lipstick seemed to glow in the dim light, mocking me. 10 minutes. And suddenly, that didn't feel like enough time at all. My pulse hammered in my ears as I stood frozen in the middle of the bedroom, still in the skirt, blouse, wig, and the scarlet lipstick that made me feel like a completely different person. 10 minutes. Maybe less. Isabella walked fast, and the cafe was only a few blocks away. I should have been stripping everything off immediately, wiping the makeup, yanking the wig, shoving everything under the bed. That was the smart thing to do. But I didn't move. My legs felt rooted to the floor, like another force held me still. The lipstick. It still shimmered on my lips, glowing faintly in the warm light of the bedroom. Every time I caught its reflection in the mirror, something pulled at me, deeper than fear, deeper than shame. A part of me didn't want to erase it. A part of me wanted her to walk in. A part of me wanted to be seen. That thought alone made my body heat with a mixture of terror and desire. I whispered to myself, "Move, Ethan. Move." But then I looked in the mirror, and the girl looking back at me kept me pinned in place. She was trembling, scared, fragile, yet beautiful. Alive. A spark in her eyes that Ethan never had. She looked like someone finally breathing after years underwater. My throat tightened. Was this who I was? Or was this simply who I wished I could be when no one was watching? My phone buzzed again. Isabella, leaving now. 7 minutes. 7 minutes. This time panic jolted through me like lightning. I spun toward the bathroom, my wig sliding slightly to the side. The skirt's hem brushed my thighs as I hurried across the room, my body moving awkwardly in clothes meant to be worn confidently. In the bathroom, the harsh white lights exposed every detail. Every flaw. Every truth. My reflection stared back at me, a mixture of Ethan's nervousness and the girl's elegance. My lipstick was too perfect, too bold, too undeniable. I grabbed a makeup wipe. My fingers shook so hard the wipe slipped from my hand and fell into the sink. "Come on," I hissed. My breath fogged the mirror as I leaned in to grab another wipe, only to freeze again. Something inside me whispered, "Don't do it." The voice felt like an echo from the lipstick itself. I knew it was ridiculous. Just a cosmetic. Just pigment and oil and wax. But the sensation was so sharp, so insistent, like every nerve in my body screamed to keep it on. What scared me most was that part of me agreed. But there wasn't time to negotiate with my own identity crisis. I lifted the wipe again when a soft thud echoed from the living room. My heart lurched into my throat. A door? Keys? Footsteps? No. No, no, she can't be here yet. I rushed to the bathroom doorway, peeking out. The apartment was silent. Still. But the sound had definitely come from somewhere. Wind, I whispered to myself. Maybe just the building settling. But doubt crawled beneath my skin like insects. My legs felt weak. My chest tightened. I darted back to the mirror and wiped the lipstick once. The wipe turned scarlet instantly, but the color on my lips barely faded. "What the?" I whispered. I wiped again. Harder. The red smear covered the wipe like blood, but the lipstick remained vivid. Polished. Sharp. Almost glowing. My panic spiked. What is this made of? I scrubbed again, dragging the wipe across my skin until it burned. The color refused to budge. My throat closed. It wouldn't come off. It wouldn't come off. It wouldn't. My phone buzzed again. Isabella, be there in 3 minutes. A cold wave crashed over me, stealing my breath. I backed toward the wall, my pulse out of control. 3 minutes. Still in full outfit. Still in full makeup. Still with lipstick that felt like it had fused with my skin. I ran to the bedroom, nearly tripping over the edge of the rug. I clawed at the wig, ripping it off and tossing it onto the bed. The blouse was next. I tore the buttons open, my breath ragged. But the lipstick. The lipstick. I rushed back to the bathroom, flipped on the cold water, and scrubbed my lips with my fingers, nails, a towel, anything. Nothing changed. The shade stayed perfect, glossy, sharp. Scarlet Command. Fitting name. My heart thrashed inside my chest. Why won't it come off? I grabbed Isabella's makeup remover, the heavy-duty one she used for waterproof eyeliner. I drenched a cotton pad and pressed it to my lips until they stung. When I pulled it away, my heart stopped. The lipstick hadn't faded. It had gotten brighter. It shimmered under the bathroom light as if mocking me. My vision swam with panic. My legs trembled violently. My breath came in broken gasps. Then, the front door handle rattled. I froze. No thought. No escape plan. No time. Just raw terror flooding every cell in my body. The handle turned. I stared at the bathroom doorway, shaking uncontrollably, lipstick shining like a neon sign on my face. Ethan. Isabella called, cheerful and unsuspecting. I'm home. I stood motionless, paralyzed, exposed. My secret life was no longer a box under the bed. It was painted on my lips. Bright, bold, undeniable. And she was walking straight toward me. The moment had arrived. Isabella's footsteps echoed louder than ever in the apartment, and every creak of the floorboard made me flinch. My reflection in the bathroom mirror caught my eye again. Scarlet lips, flushed cheeks, wide eyes brimming with fear and anticipation. I was no longer Ethan alone. I was her. And now, the line between excitement and disaster blurred completely. The front door clicked, and my stomach dropped. Isabella's silhouette appeared in the hallway, her casual smile lighting up the space. Ethan? She called again, closer this time. My body stiffened, legs trembling in stockings, blouse clinging to my skin. I wanted to run, to hide under the bed, but some force rooted me in place. The thrill, the terror, the exhilaration of being caught, it held me there. I barely breathed as she stepped inside, her bag swinging from her shoulder, her eyes scanning the room. She didn't notice the wig tossed on the bed, the blouse crumpled across the chair, the reflection in the mirror that revealed everything. Not yet. I could feel my pulse in my temples, in my chest, in my throat. Every second stretched endlessly. My mind raced through all possible outcomes. She could scream. She could laugh. She could reject me forever. Or, she could embrace this part of me, this secret life I had nurtured in silence. My hand shook as I reached for the lipstick, almost subconsciously. Scarlet Command. Its shimmer seemed to mock me, daring me to admit the truth. Ethan. Isabella's voice broke through my paralysis. Her eyes narrowed slightly, curious, sensing tension. I stumbled over my words, trying to explain, trying to hide. But the truth spilled out in a whisper I didn't expect. I can't take it off. She froze, and suddenly the room felt smaller, tighter. Her eyes darted to the mirror, then to my trembling hands, then to the glossy, impossibly red lips that refused to fade. You what? Her voice was soft, but disbelief and shock laced it like a blade. I took a shaky step closer, and the stockings brushed against the floor. My heart pounded. My hands clutched the hem of my skirt. It's the lipstick. It doesn't come off. I don't know why. My voice cracked. I feel different. Isabella's gaze softened slightly, but the tension didn't leave the room. She was smiling, but the smile was curious, questioning. Her steps slowed as she approached, cautious but intrigued. You feel different? She asked, tilting her head. Yes. My lips quivered. I I feel alive. I feel like me. Like the me I've been hiding. Her eyes studied me for a long moment. I could see the conflict in her expression, the surprise, the worry, the curiosity. The world seemed to shrink to the space between us, charged with every unspoken thought, every hidden desire, every secret longing. I stepped closer, drawn by the pull of her presence, the unspoken permission I felt in the room. The thrill of danger mingled with vulnerability, and I realized that this moment could change everything. One wrong word, one wrong step, and everything would collapse. But one right choice, one act of acceptance, could open a door I had always longed for. The wig fell slightly to one side as I moved, and I panicked, reaching to adjust it, but she noticed. Her hand reached out, brushing it lightly, and a shiver ran down my spine. "It suits you," she said softly, almost a whisper. My heart leapt. I stared at her, wide-eyed. You mean it?" "Yes," she said, smiling faintly. "But why didn't you tell me before?" The question pierced me. I wanted to explain everything, the months of hiding, the thrill of transformation, the secret world I had nurtured. But the words tangled in my throat. Instead, I nodded, my hands still trembling, my reflection in the mirror splitting my identity into two halves, Ethan and her. A sudden sound from the kitchen. A knock? A phone? Something falling. Made both of us jump. The tension spiked again. My pulse thundered as I realized, danger wasn't over. Not even close. I glanced at the mirror, at the scarlet lips, at the stockings, the skirt, the wig slightly askew. Everything about me screamed exposure, confession, vulnerability. I swallowed hard, feeling the adrenaline surge through every vein. This was the moment. The choice. Hide or reveal. Fail or embrace. "Do you want to try?" Isabella asked, her voice low, soft, challenging in a way that made my stomach twist. I mean the lipstick, the look. I froze. My mind spun with every possible outcome. One word from her, one gesture, could shatter the tension, or solidify this new, dangerous, thrilling identity. And then, with a trembling hand, I reached up, touched the lipstick and whispered, almost to myself, "I can't take it off." "I don't want to." Her eyes widened. A pause. Then a smile, slow, knowing, curious, spread across her face. "Then, show me." The words were simple, but the impact was electric. My body trembled as I realized the stakes had changed. This was no longer just about secrecy, about fear. It was about trust, desire, vulnerability, and acceptance. I turned fully toward the mirror, letting her see everything. Scarlet lips, flushed cheeks, stockings clinging to trembling legs, wig slightly falling, blouse loose and elegant. My heartbeat roared. Every nerve screamed. I was exposed. Totally. But I didn't care. Not anymore. The thrill of danger surged through me, mingling with an overwhelming sense of relief. The lipstick didn't control me, it revealed me. And Isabella. She smiled. The apartment fell silent except for our breathing. Scarlet lips, soft wig curls brushing my shoulders, stockings clinging to trembling legs. I stood frozen, exposed, alive. Isabella's eyes studied me like she was seeing not just the reflection, but the truth I had hidden for months. "Ethan, or you," she whispered, tilting her head, a faint smile tugging at her lips. "I don't know what to call you right now." I swallowed hard, heart pounding. "Call me me," I managed, voice barely a whisper. I can't hide anymore. Not like this. Not when it feels right." She stepped closer, and suddenly I felt the pull of her presence like a tide dragging me into something I had never allowed myself to feel. The thrill, the fear, the undeniable attraction of being fully seen. It coiled inside me, tense and dangerous. But before anything else could happen, a sudden knock at the door froze us both. Sharp, insistent. My stomach lurched. Not a delivery this time. Not expected. Isabella's brow furrowed. "Who?" she asked, moving cautiously toward the door. I felt panic tighten its grip. My hands shook violently. My reflection in the mirror caught my eye, scarlet lips, flushed cheeks, trembling legs, and I realized with horror, if anyone saw me like this, everything would unravel. The knock came again, louder. More urgent. My pulse threatened to burst through my chest. I couldn't think. Couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. The secret I had kept hidden for months, nurtured in stolen moments, was at risk. Should I? Isabella asked, glancing at me. Her hand hovered near the doorknob. I shook my head, words failing me. No, please. Don't. Her eyes met mine. A mixture of curiosity and concern. But it's just. Another knock. This time followed by a low, menacing voice from the hallway. Ethan? You in there? I froze. That voice. The voice I had been trying to avoid. Someone who knew me. Someone who had no idea about this side of me. The terror crashed through me like ice water. Isabella's hand brushed my arm. Who is it? I couldn't answer. My throat closed. My reflection mocked me, red lips, wide eyes, every secret exposed in a single heartbeat. The doorknob rattled violently. Panic surged through me in waves. My mind screamed, hide, hide, hide. But there was nowhere to go. Every inch of the apartment was visible. The costume, the makeup, the wig, they betrayed me completely. Isabella glanced back at me, eyes widening. Ethan, what's going on? I opened my mouth to explain, but the words froze. The truth, my secret life, my obsession, my transformation, hung in the air like a fragile glass poised to shatter. The door creaked. Slowly. Deliberately. And then, click. The lock turned. We both froze. Scarlet lips, trembling legs, soft blouse clinging to my body. Vulnerable. Exposed. And completely at the mercy of whoever had just crossed the threshold. The handle turned. The moment stretched, eternal. Every second pulsed with the thrill of discovery, fear, and exhilaration. And just as the door swung open, the screen cut to black.